Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is put the louvers in up here, and there's a couple of different ways you can do that. The first one I'm going to use is going to be a simple array. So I'm going to go to my trellis plan A2, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to put a nominal lumber across here that I'm going to use for, or actually it goes this way, that I'm going to use for the slats. So if I go to beam, there is no lumber loaded, so I need to go to load family, and I need to go down to structural framing and wood and dimensional lumber, and I'm going to pick a 2x8 and click OK. And so now I have the dimensional lumber 2x8, and I can come in, and if I want to start 1 foot from the end, I can sort of draw this dimensional lumber in, right? And it'll place it in there. If I want to, I can create a section. So I'm going to go to View, and I'm going to create a section here. And I'm just going to create a section down the middle by left-clicking and left-clicking. And I'm going to scope box that section over here to the trellis. So now that's scope boxed to right there. So if I double click on that, I can come in and I can see that nominal lumber. Now I'm in the coarse view, so if I go to medium, I'll be able to see the beams. Those are some thick beams. I'm going to take this guy, and I want it to actually move down, and I want it to rotate. So first I'm going to rotate it. So when I pick it, you'll notice that it actually gives me an option up at the top here for a cross-section rotation. And I'm just going to say 20 degrees for right now. So that rotates at 20 degrees. I mean, if you want it more, we could do 30 degrees, right? And now I'm going to offset Z value at, how about -1 inch? And that moves it down, maybe -1.5 inches, right? That's pretty good. So it's kind of getting, it's a little tight. We could change the structural framing to something else that was thinner, but it looks like it'll, for right now, it'll fit for us. So now I can do this in plan or in elevation. I can pick this, or in section, sorry, and I can go to the array command up here, and I want to go to last, and I want to pick sort of the midpoint of that guy and drag over to here. And then I can put as many of these in as I want. So if I wanted 16, right, it'll go in and put 16 of those guys in. If I want this one to be closer to the end, I can move it, right, from there to there. So you get those, right? So if I go into my 3D view, you'll see that I have those guys. Now it is a bit easier to sort of copy all of these down from the section view. So if I window around all those, I should be able to just copy them. I could also array them. It's up to you. So I could actually do a double array. But if I have a copy, I can copy it from there to there to there to there. And if I go to my 3D view, right, I have those guys. Now if I wanted to change the rotation, I have to edit the group, modify that, and if I change the rotation of this one to say 0 again, and then finish that, it'll only, let's see how many it does, right? Does it cascade through? So see how it rotates all of them to 0? So now you've got that. So the last thing I'm going to do is the same thing in the horizontal plane, or in the vertical plane. And when we were working on this guy, we used A2 to host them to. There is no floor plan that's vertical, but if we look at our site plan or our floor plan, we have T1, which is actually a grid and a reference plane that we can use to host things to. So I'm going to go and I'm going to go to my trellis plan A1, and I'm going to put an elevation in here. So I'm going to go to elevation, and we want to look that way. and I'm going to scope box this elevation to the trellis scope box. I'm going to rename it to trellis, what would that be, west, right? So once I do that, I'm going to go to that elevation. So here I am. I'm going to set it to medium so I can kind of see what's going on. And then I'm going to do the same thing I did before. So if I go to structure and beam, it's going to ask me what work plane would you like to work on, and I'm going to go to name a work plane, and I'm going to pick grid T1, and I'm going to click OK. Then I'm going to come in here and I am going to draw in my dimensional lumber, right? And I can pick that and do exactly what I did before. So I'll rotate it by 20, right? Or maybe even more so we can see it. How about 45, right? So you can kind of see it. And then I'll just move it up a little bit. It's kind of low. And then you can array that. So if I go to array, you can start, I don't know, I kind of like to start in the middle, but since it's rotated, it's a little difficult to get the middle. But you can start there and go down and then give it 4, right? And so now you've got 4 slats. And if I go to my 3D view, you got the slats. Now, we do need to move them. So if I go to my trellis plan and I do a section through there, so again, view, section, right through there, and I double click on that and I set that to medium. Forgot to scope box the section, which I really should do, so I'm going to come over here and set the scope box to scope box trellis. This guy, if I edit the group for the array and I pick that, I want to offset that in the Z value. What did I do? 1.5 inches on the last one, right? So we could do 2 inches on this, and it's going at an angle which is a little weird. So maybe 3 inches. Since it's a 45 angle, that would probably work. And then if I hit finish, it'll pop all those inside there. Okay? So go ahead and work on the trellis and on the and finish that up, and then we'll have we'll do some design for the next. All right.